Hello and welcome to Our Waking Dream. I am your host, Coco Swanson. I have for the last, 3 decades been in an immersion in healing arts, in spiritual practices, esoteric arts, embodiment practices, and I'm an entrepreneur. I've been in business and looking at how to integrate all of the more softer, magical, and say principles into business. And that's what I do for my living. I've been a mentor primarily for executives and leaders, founders of all sorts, creatives for the last decade full time. And then before that, owned a couple businesses myself and was leading leaders within them. So that's a little bit about me before we dive into the show. This show is here to help us navigate through life, utilizing astrology as a map. Astrology I use as a map to point to which esoteric practices, really esoteric down to practical tools rooted in like communication patterns and rooted in energy healing and rooted in somatics. Like I provide a very large array of practices governed in this show by the themes moving on astrologically. So one week you might get a suggestion for how to create an altar or deconstruct realities and reconstruct realities using imagination and found objects. Today we might have something we can bring into awareness when we're in relationship with another person, like very practical. So it's ideally supporting you over time in everything from super whimsical play, imagination-based practices to real nuts and bolts, like systems changes in your life. So thanks for being on this journey. Please like, subscribe, review this. If you haven't reviewed this, please do over on podcasts, or subscribe if you're on YouTube. That's how it gets wings and can impact more people, which is what 2026 is about for me, is how to democratize my work, how to bring that which has been offered more at an exclusive level to that is excluded by finances to everyone, no matter how many resources are running through your life right now. I want to become more accessible to you. That's a goal. Okay, let's get started on what's going on right now. We're having a Capricorn party, and it's a fun party. It was going on last week with the full moon, yet it's the Capricorn party is Venus, the Sun, and Mars totally conjunct this week in Capricorn. Okay, so let's think of astrology as different cycles of embodied metaphor that happen at different lengths of time. So think of the moon. It goes through one cycle every month. The moon moves through every zodiac sign and therefore embodies that metaphor during that specific time. The sun, 365 days, we've got about 1 month in each zodiac sign. So it's a slower cycle. Whereas the moon takes a month to go around the whole zodiac and land at a different spot. The sun takes a year. So each year at this time, we are in Capricorn season. So there's a similar flavor each year with where the sun is, with what month we're in. And this year, we're in larger cycles because we have Venus and Mars, which move slower than the sun, and they're meeting together. But not only are they meeting together, but they're meeting with the sun. So if three planets that all move on different orbit times come together at one time, that deserves the word party, right? Because it's a party. It's like more than two of them hanging out in Capricorn. So we look at what Venus represents, what Mars represents, what the sun represents, and how they behave in Capricorn together amidst larger cycles that we're in, that we've been talking about at different episodes. So for instance, we're still in a very Piscean time. So Pisces in Capricorn party season will influence Capricorn. Let this wash over your head. If you're new, just each time it's like a little astrology bath for you. Let's talk about Capricorn. Capricorn is known for top-down authority. It's the mountain goat. Capricorn has a tenacity. It has perseverance. It works with Father Time to bring about a lifetime of accomplishment, of stewardship, ideally, to the earth, ideally, and to humanity. But I'm adding those ideally, that'd be the case. And I say that right now because it's Capricorn season, Venus, the sun, and Mars conjunct this week. And we're already a top-heavy world right now. We're a brain-heavy world. And so I love that Venus, the planet of love, of value, of beauty, a very Taurian planet, is in Capricorn. To me, it's adding the much needed feminine to a sign and a season that can be over masculinated, meaning top heavy, too much in the brain, not enough in the heart and in the viscera, in the body. So right now, it's different. So if we're talking about what we do in Capricorn season, we will build things over time, over days, weeks, months, years. And I'm going to suggest that we start with building ourselves. How am I doing building me? How are you doing building you as the living legacy? Everything that comes through you is part of it. That way no matter where you're at on your journey, it's no judgment necessary on what legacy you're building externally at this point. And I say that on purpose because we're still in this bigger season of a Pisces North Node where Saturn and Neptune are still in Pisces. So that means there's still a lot of letting go, a reconfiguration of karmic patterns and the infrastructure at a soul's level. So if we're trying to build things that last, we want to do it with more fluidity and flow than Capricorn might normally be used to. So this said, it reframes how I'm looking at Capricorn this season, and it reframes how I'm going about the embodiment of things that will strengthen my Capricorn party. And really, in the new year, that Capricorn emphasis is wonderful because it does give us the support, cosmologically at least, the support energetically to really focus on what we're building. Practice number 1 is to observe your internal organizational culture. I'm fascinated by organizational culture, how I am organized, how we are, and how we are collectively. So in any group, in any configuration, how we work together and why we're doing what we're doing. So the first question is, how top heavy are you? If you're not feeling nurtured, taken care of, resourced, happy, and we looked at that yesterday in particular, with the full moon in Cancer, Just we strengthen Capricorn by emphasis on Cancer, the opposite. And they embody the mother and the father. Cancer is the mother. How are you held and nurtured? And when you are focused on building yourself or your creations in the world, are you overly analytical, overly critical? Are you top heavy? And if you are, fantastic. However, right now would be a wonderful time to have your efficiency rewired, where we think of resourcing internally and gently and cozy resourcing in our relationships with each other and ourselves in order to bring your expertise to the world. So how are you? We're in a predominantly head over heart world right now, with the heart really exponentially on the rise too. Think of how much energetic practices, meditation, somatics are on the rise. So our magic, our heart is on the rise in systems that are top heavy. So how are you? Are you in action? Are you building when you're resourced? Or are you depleted and frustrated and not knowing what's next and feeling ick and still trying to build? Because number 2, I suggest, is to be a rebel. And this is something I embody quite strictly in my life. I am a sacred rebel. And in this case, I act if I'm resourced. So even in preparing for filming this podcast, I would take little breaks to just be. It's even in something as simple as setting up a camera and a microphone and putting on a different shirt or whatnot. It's me checking in with, how do I feel? I think I need to go take a 30-second break to feel my body and my heart relax so I can be a more clear channel of my expertise, of that which I am here to leave as legacy. That's Capricorn's about legacy of stewardship at a really grand level over your life. So be a rebel. In what ways do you need to stop what seems like efficiency in your business of being a person, a friend, a parent, a boss, an employee, whatever you are, a creator? In what ways do you need to stop and resource your heart, resource how your gut feels? Like follow your gut instinct instead of following it as a means to shift the top-down authority within you, to align with possibility, with love, with comfort in our already top-down heavy culture. Practice number 3, I suggest, is in relationship. This is a conflict resolution piece. It's to recognize when I'm in relationship with whoever it is. It can be relationship with me. It can be a relationship with my future. It can be a relationship with my sweetheart or a dear friend or somebody like a family member, somebody that's in front of me physically or not. It's how I relate. I notice when my brow starts to furrow. You know that vibe, the furrowed brow that creates the wrinkles, the worry wrinkles? In conversation with yourself and others, notice when the worry wrinkle comes up. Commit to stopping. And here's the fun part is do it with somebody. So you say, okay, I don't want to engage when I'm worried anymore. I don't want to engage if I'm concerned. I want to engage my brain when I feel close, like I feel in love. I feel in flow. It's like you get to choose. It's your own adventure. But I suggest that we want to be conversing and brainstorming and relating when we're feeling a good double thumbs up. because that's the type of top-down authorship, Capricorn, that I want to be embodying in the Capricorn party season going on this week. And so in relationship, if we start furrowing brows or feeling like, really it's anything thumbs down. If I start feeling thumbs down and you do too, that's the world in which we're building then. So inner atmosphere within Capricorn season is what I'm suggesting that we bring more awareness to, that we really welcome Venus into the party and bring that soft, lovingly. What do you value? How are you embodying your values now? But your values of softer, heart-based attributes, such as I feel loved and loving, or I belong, or I am resourced. I am in a flow of energy and finances and time. Then we create, because what we're feeling is always influencing our brain. So we're stepping into Capricorn season. We're in Capricorn season and in the party, but in a way that will allow our brains to start to change, because we're in an overarching time of change. Pisces, we've got Neptune and Saturn in Pisces through Valentine's Day. We'll feel real change then. I'll talk more about that in the upcoming weeks. And then we have Uranus. It doesn't enter Gemini. That's an era changes. These are all era changes. The bigger planets change. Eras change. Eras change. Our lives can change. So the more we allow for our brains to shift, to align with cultures of internal and external care, and to spend our time doing that, the more possibility we align with for the rest of the year. Okay, I think that's about it. That was a lot. We've got Capricorn, so top-down authorship. But we're looking at how we can shift from the bottom up to create sustained change in our authorship of our head. That's it. Thank you for being a part of this growing community. Coco Swanson here. Please reach out whenever you're drawn to. Also in my newsletter, I offer a little other gift, either a meditation or another practice each week. You can sign up in the link below. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah.
Thank you for being a part of our community here at Our Waking Dream. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Fill my cup and let it overflow. Let it overflow with love.